Okay, so the ICR72, great little receiver, and we've just got to do a couple little bits and pieces to this one. A bit of a cleanup. Hasn't sort of been used for a long time, I don't think, but just to make you aware, had to do these back when I was a young fella. Once again, back in my time in Prospect as a young apprentice. They get this wobbly VFO issue, and unfortunately, no matter how hard you try with the finest of little pliers, etc. Let me just sort of pull this off. I've actually undone this just to show you. It's very, very difficult to get this done up without, unfortunately, taking the front off. And sometimes you'll get lucky. You might just get onto it, but generally they'll wobble loose again. And they're just a rotary encoder, which there won't be anything wrong with the rotary encoder. It'll just be that, that it's loosened up. But they don't give you a lot of room to work with here. So we end up pulling the front off these things just to two reasons. One, I need to clean the front panel up and have a bit of a play there anyway. But secondly, it just means I can get onto this with a nut driver and actually torque it up to what it should be versus, just trying to do it up with a pair of pliers, which inevitably will come undone again. So, okay, well, let's go a bit further and pull the front off. Okay, so once you've got the 10 screws out, you'll have this little fella looking like so. And I'm not actually in the workshop at the moment, just in my radio room, so one of those ones. But 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now, don't forget on the front panel, there is also some screws as well to be dealt with. The adjustment screw now. Been a while. Actually, I need to check that. That may still be able to stay in there, but that one will need to come out. That may come out with this little brace here, then come out from the back. But we'll find out in a minute. It's been about 30 years since I've done one of these. But anyway, a bit of fun. Now just remember, also when you're taking the front panel off, you've got 9 screws on the back of this board here, so you've got to take 2 screws off the side of each side to lift the front panel forward. There's 9 screws in the back here, and pretty much that then allows you to take the front panel off. And as I'm doing this this is not actually my workshop bench. I'm not probably doing what I should be doing here, but that's all right. But then, as you can see, you pull this plate off the front, and then you'll be able to do up your rotary encoder. Okay, so you should end up with something that looks a little bit like this here. We've taken the little small bracket off that fits on the front here, and as you can see, just 1 screw to do that. Now we can get a nut driver onto this fella here, do it all up again, and reverse the process. But what we'll do is we'll give it a good clean up inside while we've got in bits. This is probably not for the faint-hearted completely. Look, it's not a hard job, but you do need to just remember which way you went in and which way you come out. Particularly those 9 screws are, and plus give yourself a little bit of extension. Just undo a few cords. You've got your power supply fella goes over there. This one here is main hookup, and actually, sorry, let me just correct that. Yeah, that's actually power supply over here. Sorry, these thicker leads are the power supply. This will just be a signal cable, on-off cable, coming from the switching up the front here. But okay, so let's do this up and see how it goes. Okay, so once you've got that all done up nice and tight, obviously things like give it a good clean. These parts you can't get to easily when the front's back on, so it's a good chance to really. This is where we start getting into the restoration. You just get anything that's. Keep in mind this. This was released in the 1980s from memory. It's going to have a bit of dust and a bit of grit and stuff to clean out. Give the controls a good spray with Deoxit, and make sure these are done up tight too. While you don't have to go all the way back in again just to do that. All your buttons here, just get them cleaned off. You'll see there's dirt on them, but certainly. This is the time to get in there. You don't need to detach the front completely. Once you're at this stage here, you can certainly, even if you want to be safe, if you want to put a screw back in while you're cleaning up, just the top section just to hold all in place. You don't need to actually unplug everything off this board. There's plenty of room to move to work that out. Now, as you can see, I'm still doing this on my knee here. This is a good chance to really give this a good clean up too. Be careful. Not so much along here is not an issue. These are all push buttons, and these are mechanical. your keypad over here. Don't flood this with too much water, etc. Just give it a nice little clean up through. But as you can see, it gives you a good chance to get in there, and even these you can give a good clean while you can push them through, and etc. So the next stage is giving it a bit of a clean, and then basically put it all back together. Okay, so once you've got it all screwed back together, still cleaning here, to be honest, just cleaning up little knobs and bits, and that's a good thing to do. Just do your last little cleanup of anything that you see that needs to be cleaned off. But just remember, when you put the front panel in, you are asking it to put this connector into this connector here. So nice and slow, don't go ramming it in because you will bend pins. And as you can see, this has come up rather nice. It's still not completely finished with it. Remember to clean the inside of this here. I'm just about to finish doing that, because what you're left with there, you're stuck with. So just make sure you get that nice with a nice proper cloth. We're using some Norwex branded cloths here, and basically make sure those lenses are actually the opposite of what I've got there, where I've just smeared it. Oh, actually not as bad as I thought, but you certainly don't want to smear it. Okay, we'll put it back together and see how we go. Okay, so once you finish, you've got this sort of lens. It's nice and clean. Make sure you've made sure there's no smears on the inside, and back together she goes. Little note to make: don't forget, like I nearly did. I nearly did too. Don't forget to put this fella back on first. So that there is going behind that section there, because this is the tensioner, and then it's going into there. Okay. That needs to go on first, because otherwise your access to the screw up there is going to be very, very difficult. I nearly put the front panel on, so I want to admit that. I'm bloody close anyway. Okay, so here we go, unit back together again, and we're just listening to a weather warning here. Whoops, that's better. So this has been a nice way to get this back together, and don't mind me, I haven't cleaned the VFO yet, but we've got the front looking a lot better. We've got certainly it's now working with a VFO that is working a lot better, and haven't done it up yet, to be honest. But something I must point out, and I'll just turn that down a bit, because I'm so used to just jumping into these radios, and there's the OCD part of me trying to clean that, and this can happen sometimes. As an ex-technician, you forget some of the basic rules sometimes. Now, did I fire this up first? No. I went straight in to fix the VFO because it was obvious. So what could have I learned if I had fired it up first? Number one, you'd learn whether the thing was working or not when you first got it. So this has come in from a client, and the minute I took the covers off and pulled the front off and did everything to it, especially without testing it, because I knew we had this rattly VFO, well, believe it or not, that's not the smartest move that you can make. It really isn't. Really, when you get an item like this, chuck it on the bench first. Look, this is a very good friend of mine that sold me this, so it doesn't matter what it came to me in what sort of condition. I was going to fix it anyway. There was never going to be a, hey, listen, you sold me a Brummie. Not at all. This was sold to me at a price that I think he was just so generous it wasn't funny, and I don't mind doing a couple little bits to it, because we work together very well that way. And I've bought quite a few receivers from this chap, and he has some really nice stuff. So I'd rather show you little things that you might need to do in restoring, and that's great. But what I could have done is notice that I've got a light here, but I'm missing a light over here. Now they have three of them, and I'm sort of predicting, just looking at this, that as you can see how I'm just sort of shadowing it, I reckon we got one out on the side here. Now, had I been a bit clever and checked that while I had the bloody board out, it's a really simple thing to do. I've got them in stock. So I will do that, and I'm going to actually go back and do it now because I'm a bit OCD, and it'll be a great finish to it. I won't bother bringing that up on the video here, but I just wanted to show you what a great little receiver these things are. The Icom ICR72, and I reckon I was an apprentice when I first got a look at one of these. I reckon I was, but as you can see, Glenn's had a few memories in this. 7130, he's been listening to the DX then at some stage. CB, Geez, I'll tell you what, some of the frequencies he's got in here, I don't have to program this thing. We'll put this on display in the room and just let it scan on HF. He's got good. Oh no, yes he has. Yep, he's got channel 1 to 40 CP. Good on you, Glenn. Oh no, you haven't. Sorry, mate. Sorry. No, you've got down to about 27. Then, yeah, okay. So then there's different ones. Oh, here we go. 8176. What's that? Oh, that's another weather warning. Yep. Isn't it interesting? We forget about these frequencies now because we're sort of so used to internet links and everything. But where was the other one where you just had quite strong? Someone was just on 7130 then. Oh, there we go. 12.365. Anyway, what a brilliant... look, I'm probably not talking out of school here. So I'm going to be very honest on this video, and I don't think Glenn will mind. Glenn sold me this for $200, and I've had to do a couple of little bits to it and I will just go replace a light, and that's lovely. And the case, I've just got to get that little bit, it's just slightly out of alignment, no big deal. And, you know, basically do up a knob. I honestly, I think it's a bargain because I'm a big collector of any of the old Icom series receivers, any of the old Kenwood series receivers. Speaking of which, we'll be doing a look at the... oh boy, sorry to do you in, Glenn, but when you send me such nice things, I've got to show people. This is a R2000, which Glenn sent me up, and it's clean. It's very clean. So now, if I don't drop that, would be really good, wouldn't it? That's better. Righto. Yeah, look, these receivers, some people... Did I just knock that? I must have. Hang on, if I go down in memory. Oh, no, it's finished. Okay. And they will. Those broadcasts do. They go for 10 minutes, and then they give you another time when they're going to have another one on. Let's go back up. I thought I heard someone on 7130 before. Now, you can... now, I haven't got the VFO done up yet, so don't mind if it looks like it's slipping. That's me. Now, you can make the kilohertz go a lot faster, like I'm doing there. Just hang on, let me do that VFO up, sorry. Okay, I feel better now. I've got a VFO that's running, and I'm on the 1 kilohertz. What the hell is that? Sounds like packet or something. 7049. Oh, it might be 2 down that part of the band. Yeah, okay, so I just got to clean the clean the outside of that, but now see how fast you can run up and down the band here. I'm feeling terrible at the moment. Had I done those 2 globes, that display would be so bright. My fault, I should have checked it, but anyway, I will go back and do that. But let me tell you, once you do the... remember the board that I showed you that you pulled out? Once you've got that out, you've got 3 globes, 1, 2, and 3. 1 in the middle, 2, 3. And they actually attach... You don't have to pull the board off this front panel as such. That's right, I'm just thinking about what I'm saying. No, you don't. You can actually just lift it all over, so bring it over 180 degrees by the 4 screws, etc. There's enough cable to just do that, and you can see on the back of the board where the globes go through. Globes, LEDs, can't remember now, but yes, whatever they are, I've got them in stock somewhere. So anyway, so there we go. That's the ICR72, and someone's dropping a carrier there. And I'm just on a horizontal dipole at the moment, just listening there. There we're right. AM. Now, FM won't work because we haven't got an FM board from memory. I think there was an FM board. So if you've got an FM board for one of these lying around and you think, what the hell am I going to do with that? We're definitely a buyer. We'll put one in. Anyway, but not a great loss. Look, this sort of stuff we'll leave set up on sideband and probably just as a bit of a demo. We're going to do quite a few receivers. We've got about, I don't know. We've got a few. Actually, I was going to put a number on it, but actually I need to sort of cross-check. But there's certainly enough to do quite a few receivers, which will be good, of various different brands and, different eras and lots of things. Everything from Hallicrafter to some of the Grundigs that we've been collecting lately. Icom, Kenwood, Yaesu, of course, we've got quite a few that I just fall in love with every time I see one. And believe it or not, because this goes back to my childhood, well, certainly teenage years, the ICR72 when Glenn said he had one. I've got the ICR71, and I thought, oh, you know what? This was the update to the 71. Different display. It was a very, very different unit in a lot of ways, and they certainly did a good job. And as you can see, now someone's tuning up here. They're pretty strong too. Well, they're okay. Sorry, shouldn't say they're massively strong. They're S7. There you go. So I'm just having a look here. S9's getting stronger. Okay, so just testing the noise blanker there. The other thing to do when you're finished doing the little thing that I've done is go through and make sure all these actually work. See how the megahertz over the top. So I can quickly change megs like so and come back round to 7 megs. There you go, back to 7. Then you can take that off again. So they were nice. Speech was if you had the speech board in there. So it's all right. I just want to explain why that's not working. Keep in mind you can direct key entry. You can set up scan VFO memory like so, which is nice and handy. And the bottom they had a few nice things where AGC. Oh, actually we haven't got the preamp in. Well, everything you've been listening to so far is no preamp, which to be quite honest, it's been doing a fabulous job with no preamp. So it just shows the receiver. I might just go back to that's a bit faster just to run around and see signals quickly. No, I think 40 metres is... There's quite a conversation going on before. I heard Dougie on there, 3AWO, having a bit of a chat. So while I was repairing this, I was listening to Doug chat away with a couple others, and a bit of fun. Gee, whoever that is, they are getting stronger and stronger. That's now 10 dB over. Yeah, okay, that's certainly going well. Okay, so what else we got? We got clock. We've got dimmer. Now this actually shows my point. That's the dimmer off, dimmer on, dimmer off. We're getting a little bit more light to it, but once again, I'm going to go as far to say that maybe that one's working on this side here. We may have those two out actually, but we'll see. I'll replace them and have a bit of a look. Attenuator, quite an aggressive attenuator. 10 dB is it? Yeah, 10 dB, yep. And I'll take that. There you go. So there's the attenuator. Good, he's giving us a signal there. So the preamp gives us 20 dB, 10 dB to 20 dB. How good was that? Perfect carrier to do this test on. And sorry, the 10 dB attenuator is here, the 20 dB is here. Or a cumulative, you can have 30 dB across the whole thing, which is sort of a bit of fun. Now, mode set. Oh, look, have to excuse me on this one. I just can't remember if that was a mode set. Mode for scan groups or yeah, all right. I'm going to claim ignorance here in the fact it's been too long, so just forgive me for that one. But yeah, certainly been a while. And lock, so you can lock up the VFO, etc. And I think that locks up. No, it doesn't lock up the keypad. It doesn't. It just locks up the VFO. Fair enough. Well, we just learned something then. All right. But how do I feel? I feel fantastic because this is a great bit of, classic equipment that's not everybody's going to enjoy this video as much as me. Well, I'm just going to enjoy the playing with it, not so much the video. But some would suggest that there is a bit of playing with it at times. But anyway, all right. Well, look, 73s, it's been good to just show you a couple of things and also how technicians get a little bit carried away sometimes and should possibly... bit of FT8 there. Technicians should possibly check these things before they bolt 9 screws back in. Look, it would take me 7 or 8 minutes to get back to that point to replace the globe, so please don't think it's a whole lot of time. It doesn't take you long. Actual time spent fixing this VFO, front panel, all the covers off, everything back together, maybe 25 minutes. So, just don't think that this is a massive thing, but you do need to maybe take some photos in and out if you haven't done one before. 73s, all the best. Thanks very much for having a look at my my little in the mail delivery today. I can't tell you how happy I am. I think it's a lovely little unit. I think the seller was more than generous, and it's been fun to just get it to where it is today. 73s from VK3 Charlie Mike Tango Malanga. Had a good night's sleep last night, would you believe it? Been up since 4, maybe 4. But blame Sam for that, long story. Okay, 73s all.